Good evening. The Scottish Conservatives have called for the Justice Secretary to resign. It comes after emails obtained through Freedom of Information by a newspaper revealed an aide to the Justice Secretary suggested Scotland's police watchdog delay publishing a report. The Scottish Government said it was an email exchange between officials and there was no involvement of ministers. Katie Hunter reports.
This is a Sunday morning splash Justice Secretary Michael Matheson could do without. The story relates to emails about a damning report written by the police watchdog PIRC about the Scottish Police Authority. In November, a senior aide to Mr Matheson, Don McGilvery, emailed the head of PIRC, Kate Frame. He appears to suggest delaying the report's publication until the CC issue has moved on a bit. The CC issue refers to this man, Police Scotland's Chief Constable Phil Gormley, who's on special leave while complaints against him are investigated. Kate Frame replied saying she would push ahead with the report's publication, adding, "My perception of your remarks is of governmental interference with my independence."
She claims that someone in
the suggestion of interference has led to the Scottish Conservatives to call for the Justice Secretary's resignation.
These are absolutely extraordinary revelations. What they show is that government interference in supposedly independent bodies trying to do an independent job is endemic throughout the system.
The Scottish Government says it had no knowledge about the report's contents at the time of the email and points out it wasn't written by the Justice Secretary. Michael Matheson's colleagues have come to his defence.
What's absolutely clear from the story in the Sunday Post and the statement made by the PIRC is that no incidents of government interference have taken place. Those are the PIRC's words rather than mine.
Interference or not, the Justice Secretary's opponents are circling. Katie Hunter, reporting Scotland.
Mountain rescue teams searching for a 65-year-old climber on Loch Nagar have found a body. They believe it is that of the man who called for help on Friday night. Joanne Macaulay reports.
The missing man contacted police on Friday evening to say he was lost and disorientated on the plateau of Loch Nagar. He'd been spotted earlier that afternoon on the path going up the mountain, and although police got a couple of calls to him on Friday night, contact was lost. The search continued over the weekend with more than 80 people joining in today. Rescuers, search dogs and a helicopter battled against blizzards and winds of up to 100 miles an hour. But at around midday today, they confirmed a body had been found.
You need skill and experience on the hillside. You need to be carrying the right kit. Well, we've always said that. We always would say that. But people can find themselves in difficulty, and ultimately that's why we have the backup of fantastic mountain rescue teams in Scotland.
The police added that it was sad to learn that someone had succumbed to the elements. Joanne Macaulay, reporting Scotland.
The Stornoway Arts venue, Unlanter, opened its doors today on Sunday for the first time. The 3-month pilot scheme has caused major controversy in an island where the Sabbath tradition is largely still observed and Sunday opening is frowned upon. Over 250 people turned out to see the Star Wars film The Last Jedi this afternoon. Roddy Munro has more.
An unfamiliar sight for those attending church today in Stornoway, the Arts Centre preparing to open its doors on the Sabbath for the first time. The board of the arts venue decided to trial Sunday opening in September, but they were unable to proceed for operational reasons. The operational obstacles have now been overcome, but a large proportion of the community are unhappy about the Sunday trial.
We regard ourselves in the board as holding this place in trust for all of the community, and by that we mean all of the community. We know that the community is very diverse, and cultural diversity is one of the things that we're totally committed to in our equality and diversity and inclusion plan. And we're going to see that through if we can. We don't see a reason for saying to anybody, you can't have access to this when you want it, just out of a principle.
Church leaders have expressed concern and disappointment at the decision to open today to show The Last Jedi film, and 2 people felt strongly enough to come out and protest.
It's the breaking of God's law that takes us to hell, and this is a clear breaking of God's holy law. Remember the Sabbath day. They're forgetting it to just follow their own amusements. And the Bible clearly says that we're not to seek our own pleasure on this day, that there's much better things to be doing, and that is to seeking the glory of God and the love of Christ.
Opponents to the trial have questioned if it is genuine and see 7-day opening as a fait accompli. The Board of Llanlanther deny this and are adamant that a decision on future Sunday opening will only be made when the 3-month trial has been evaluated. Roddy Munro, reporting Scotland, Stornoway.
Football now, and Rangers have moved back into second place in the Premiership with a 2-1 win against bottom side Ross County. The away side's first goal was helped by a goalkeeping error. Now let's see what the weather's going to be like for tonight and the start of the week. Here's Cosser.
Thank you, Suzanne. Good evening to you all. Well, it was a disappointing end to the weekend with thick cloud around, outbreaks of rain and strong winds too. Many of us saw scenes like this with a lot of cloud, overcast conditions, and for this evening it remains breezy with further outbreaks of rain. We can see from the pressure chart this weather system here that's bringing some heavy persistent rain for a time across the north of the country. As we head through the night it will slip further southwards, and you can see from the tight isobars some strong to gale force winds expected, especially for coastal areas. So here we have it for tonight. A Met Office yellow be aware weather warning in force for more central inland areas in the north. There could be some localised flooding, some difficult conditions on the road, but you can see that rain slipping further southwards, and by the end of the night we're looking at a mixture of some clear spells, some blustery showers, and these showers falling as snow up over the hills. Temperatures dipping to around 3 to 4 Celsius. So we remain with this cold northwesterly airflow for tomorrow too. Further showers, they will be scattered but mainly concentrated across the north and across the west. Further towards the east, some good spells of sunshine in store. And if we take a wider look at the rest of the UK, and you can see that weather front across England and Wales continuing to clear further southwards. Behind it, we're left with fresher conditions, some spells of sunshine, and those showers, as I mentioned, across the north and west. Now, temperature-wise, a big difference across the country. We had 13 Celsius in Edinburgh today. Tomorrow, around 5 or 6 degrees. Milder conditions further towards the south. And then for Tuesday, some wet weather for the northwest. Drier and brighter further towards the south and east.
Thanks, Cosser. Well, 6 of Scotland's finest young musicians will compete later in the grand final of BBC Radio Scotland's Young Traditional Musician of the Year Award. We'll bring you the results on our late bulletin. That's Reporting Scotland. We'll be back after the 10 o'clock news. Until then, from everyone in the team in Glasgow, goodbye.